Hello, so in this video let's start off with the basic equation for the parabola, which is y equals ax, oh my goodness, yes, I hate it when it does that, ax squared. Now for us to understand this type of equation properly, it's easier to draw it and see what each variable does when we change it, and we're specifically going to look at, let me make that a nice color, I like pink. We're going to look at when we change a. Alright, let's think. Y equals x squared. We're just going to do that basic graph, and let's use the table method to draw it. So we're going to have an x and a y. Let me just move that away. There we go. So then I'm going to just use -2, 0 and 2 as values that we will be replacing into our formula to get the y values. You can use any values here. I do suggest that you have a 0. You must have a 0, and the two numbers on opposite sides, you can even have more to the left and more to the right. They just need to be opposite and in sign. So let's see. If I now say -2, y equals -2 squared, that is going to be 4. Y equals 0 squared, that will be 0. And y equals 2 squared, that will be 4. So when I start drawing this, it's going to be -2 for my x and 4 for my y. There we go. So -2 and 4. There, it's exactly at the origin, 0, 0. And this last value for our coordinate is going to be 2 and 4. There we go. 2 and 4. Now we can just draw. Okay, this is not the easiest thing to draw with. Let's see what I can do. Oh well. Should be a little bit rounder. Forgive me for that. Alright, so there we have it. Do you see that this graph opens upward? Upwards. It opens upwards. And that is because a has a positive value. You'll see there that there's a positive in front of that. Let me just take that away before you think it's negative. There we go. It has a positive value. Alright, what will happen if I leave the value the same, but I change the value of a, because at the moment it's actually just a +1. Alright, let's see what happens then. Oops. Let's say y equals 2x squared. Let's start. Y equals 2 times 2 to the power of squared, sorry, is going to be 4 times 2 is going to be 8. That's for that one, sorry. There we go. Y equals 2 times -2 squared is also going to be 8. And y equals 2 times 0 squared is going to be 0. So let's do this in pink. Alright, so it's still -2, but now it is 8 and 8, 2, -2 and 8 and 2 and 8, but still through the origin. Oh my goodness, maybe not. Okay, what are we starting to see here? Let me just write those in. 2 and 8, -2 and 8, and still through the origin. We are starting to see a pattern here. namely everything goes through the origin. And let's erase this and look at one more where we change the value of a to a smaller number, smaller, let's say half. Yeah, let's say it's a half x squared. So let's start. Half of -2 squared is going to be 2 squared is 4, half of that is 2. A half of 0 squared is going to be 0, and half of 2 positive 2 squared is going to be 2. So let's go for it. -2, 2, 0, positive 2 and 2, so it's -2, 2, 0, 0, and positive 2 and 2. Alright, let me do my best. Alright, positive a in each of these cases that I've just drawn, and all of these legs of the parabola opens upwards. Remember, when my a is positive, it's a smiley. It is a smiley face. So the legs goes upwards. What else have we noticed? I've noticed that in the pink case, I'm just going to write there, it was y equals, I think, let me just think, yeah, it was 2x squared. And in the case of the green, it was just y equals x squared. And in the case of the blue, it was y equals a half an x squared. Now if we look at the values of a, in this case it was 2, here it was 1, and here it was a half. If you look at the values of a, now look at the legs of the arms of the parabolas. The smaller the a, the wider they are. So going downwards, meaning making my value of a smaller, means that my arms go wider. So that is what happens when we change a. If it is positive, the arms will always open upwards, and if it is smaller going larger or larger going smaller, that will influence how wide open these arms are. Okay, so bigger the a, the narrower the arms. The smaller the a, the wider the arms. Okay, in our next video we're going to see what happens when we have a negative a.